Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Presidents of the Republic of Slovenia and the Republic of Poland, Madam Dr. Nataša Pirc Musar and Dr. Andrzej Duda. Your Excellencies, Madam President, Dr. Nataša Pirc Musar, Mr. President, Dr. Andrzej Duda, Your Excellencies, the Ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, welcome at the Slovenian-Polish Business Forum in Planica, a very special place for Slovenians, but also for Polish people. It's a national shrine of sport, culture, but also science, and today, of course, business. As you may see, Slovenia is not a big place. So we have to squeeze a little bit, but we feel comfortable in it, especially if we have so dear guests from Poland. So let's welcome on stage the CEO of Spirit Slovenia, Mr. Rok Capl.
I will be very short. Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Slovenia, Ms. Nataša Pirc Musar, Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Poland, Mr. Andrzej Duda, Your Excellency, Ambassador Olendzki, Your Excellency, Mr. Pograjc, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to have the floor today to express my appreciation for another opportunity to strengthen ties between Poland and Slovenia. The last Slovenian-Poland Business Forum took place in Kranjska Gora the same time last year for the Ski Jumping World Cup, and it was very, very successful. Cooperation between our countries spans various domains, and the commitment to continuing trust and joint effort is firm, as evidenced also by this forum today. At Spirit Slovenia Business Development Agency, we are glad to facilitate partnerships between Slovenian and Polish companies, enabling them to create products and solutions for the competitive global market. In this market, cybersecurity and artificial intelligence are fundamentally changing business practices. Yet, through collaboration, we can address challenges and capitalize on opportunities presented in this new reality. I anticipate the signing of the Memorandum of Cooperation with the Polish Investment and Trade Agency and thank Ambassador Olendzki for the engagement. The document is and will be an important motivation for our businesses to work together toward a greener, more creative and smarter future. I am confident that the events panels today, B2B meetings and networking during the Ski Jumping World Cup will offer added value for all participants. Thank you all for joining us today, and may you have a successful and pleasant day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Capl. It's an old Slovenian saying, beware of the people who start their speeches. I'll be very brief, but you kept your word. Thank you very much. Our next welcoming speaker is His Excellency Dr. Krzysztof Olendzki, Ambassador of the Republic of Poland to Slovenia since 2020, and he really set his mark during his time in Slovenia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President of the Republic of Poland, Madam President of the Republic of Slovenia, the Director of Spirit, Excellencies and dear friends, distinguished participants. A permanent feature of Slovenia's landscape is the magnificent churches scattered across mountaintops overlooking the stunning Slovenian valleys. However, the most common sight in these valleys are shopping malls, symbols of modernity, affluence, and certain civilization unity of Europe. Here, we can find Polish brands like CCC, Reserved, Mojito, Half Price, Krop, Cocodrillo, Bilenda, Inpost, Allegro, etc., etc. On the other hand, in Poland, we are well accustomed to Slovenian brands like Krka and Lek. This is the reality of Central Europe today, 20 years after our succession to the European Union. The Central Europe, which is creating a new dynamic and connections and mutual ties within the Three Seas initiative. The ports of Gdańsk and Koper are two main gateways to Central Europe, connected by railway networks that link us not only through intermodal connections, but also serve as opportunities for our neighbors, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and Austria, to participate in global trade. The Polish-Slovenian bond, which binds Central Europe, is the backbone of the Three Seas interconnectivity, connecting Central Europe, linking the Western Balkans with the EU. Polish-Slovenian economic cooperation, especially B2B, is developing dynamically. Although the countries are not closely linked in terms of capital, trade volumes are steadily increasing. After a very dynamic growth in 2022, when mutual trade reached 3 billion euros, we face a slight decrease. However, in 2024 and 2025, due to already signed contracts for purchase of trains and locomotives produced in Poland, as well as electric buses for Slovenian cities, we are expecting more than 3 billion in mutual turnovers. But ambitions will soar toward 4 billion very soon. I am so happy to welcome for this forum Her Excellency Madam President Nataša Pirc Musar and His Excellency President of the Republic of Poland, Andrzej Duda. We all know how much of your attention you dedicate, Your Excellencies, to problems related to the development of the ICT sector in our countries and Central Europe region, and how much the cybersecurity is important in your activity. The initiative to organize the event came from the Digital Poland and the ICT Association of Slovenia after the presentation of the report on the ICT sector in the countries of the Three Seas initiative and the National Council of Slovenia last November. Both associations are well aware about the potential benefits of strengthening the ties. The businesses will certainly be doing better after today's signing of the cooperation agreement. Today, we are going not only to make the cooperation between Polish and Slovenian ICT business communities more formal and effective. We are also testifying a new chapter of the collaboration between Spirit Slovenia and Polish Agency of Trade and Investment for the benefit of any other sector of our economies. At the end, let me express my immense gratitude to all of those who made this forum possible. So the Spirit Slovenia crew, PAIH, so the Polish Agency of Trade and Investment, and last but not least, my colleagues from the Embassy of the Republic of Poland in Ljubljana. But I need to say also that this venue couldn't happen without the outstanding dedication of Ms. Andrea Mulec-Bochins, somewhere over here, from Spirit, and Ms. Bogumila Płachtej-Paulin from the Embassy of Poland in Slovenia. Supported strongly by Mr. Matej Hojnik, the president of Polish-Slovenian Business Club Trigraf Rysy. I wish all of you a very interesting debate and successful B2B meetings. And Excellencies, dear friends, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. As you may hear, Planica can be a very loud place sometimes. So it's a kind of a day. Today you also mentioned shopping malls. There definitely will be no shopping mall in Planica in the centuries to come. And you mentioned churches. Well, actually the myth of Planica started in the mid-19th century by the local priest from Rateče who built the first concrete building, a chapel, and he was also the first mountaineer and the first sportsman here in the valley, so we owe it to him. Our first speaker of honor today is the President of the Republic of Slovenia, Dr. Nataša Pirc Musar. Please.
En lep dober dan vsem skupaj. Hello everybody, dear President Duda, dear friend, distinguished representatives of economic associations and of Slovenian and Polish businesses. The place where we are gathered today is an inspiring venue. The competitiveness of Slovenian and Polish ski jumpers and their solidarity in difficult circumstances reflect everything that characterizes cooperation between Poland and Slovenia on many levels. Healthy competition, cooperation for the future, and solidarity. I am delighted to be able to welcome representatives of Polish and Slovenian businesses in this beautiful setting. The setting that symbolizes the human desire to go further. And we want the same for both Slovenia and Poland, allies and partners in the EU and NATO for 20 years. Together, let us fly even further in terms of competitiveness, economic ties, and resilience to threats of all kinds. Although Poland has been one of the Slovenia's most important foreign trade partners for a number of years, ranking 9th in terms of both exports and imports, the prevailing view is that there are business opportunities in both countries that have yet to be explored. Slovenia may not have realized the full potential of the Polish market, and Slovenia might be a relatively small market for Poland, but Slovenia's excellent position for doing businesses with the Western Balkans should not be underestimated. The automotive industry is a very important part of Slovenia's bilateral trade with Poland. The Slovenian automotive cluster of car parts suppliers has been active in the Polish market for years. In addition, Slovenia has launched a joint project for the green and digital transformation of the Slovenian automotive industry called GREMO, Green Mobility. Many Slovenian companies are investing in new advanced technologies and developing their own innovative products and solutions. We encourage our Polish partners to integrate them in existing supply chains and in the development of advanced technologies for sustainable mobility. The same applies for the construction sector. I would like to mention the construction of the road and motorway network where some Slovenian companies, with their specific expertise and innovative know-how, can participate as subcontractors or suppliers in keeping with the policy of investment in green and smart mobility pursued both in Poland and in Slovenia. Transport and logistics are certainly two of the most interesting sectors where cooperation between Slovenia and Poland can be further strengthened. Here, let me mention the opportunities offered by the Port of Koper, which have been boosted by the establishment of a regular container train service between Koper and Wrocław. Yet further opportunities lie in the deepening of cooperation with Polish ports on the Baltic Sea. I am pleased to note that Polish visitors are becoming increasingly important for Slovenia's tourism. The growth trend in Polish tourist arrivals and overnight stays from 2021 and 2022 continued in 2023. More than 170,000 tourists from Poland visited Slovenia last year. Improving energy security has become a key priority for European Union member states in recent years, including for Slovenia and Poland, and increasing the resilience of the energy system is part of the accelerated green transition of key sectors of the economy. Like Poland, Slovenia is working to reduce its dependence on fossil fuels, in part by building a second unit of its only nuclear power plant in Krško. The people of Slovenia are expected to decide on this in a referenda later this year. When it comes to energy projects in Slovenia, we are open to cooperation with foreign companies. At the same time, Slovenian companies, some of which are at the front with their own technological solutions and innovations, especially in the field of renewable energy, can compete on foreign markets, including in Poland, by offering hardware, generators, panels, and other products. You know, I quite often say one sentence for the business, because we are here at the sports venue. I have to assent that the business, the entrepreneurs, are not competing on national championships. You are every single day competing in world championships. So that's what you are able and you are doing successfully every single day in Poland and in Slovenia. Both countries also face challenges in digitalization, especially in public services and the improvement of cybersecurity. Cyber threats, along with disinformation, are among the key threats of our time, and Slovenia wants to strengthen the resilience of its critical infrastructure against foreign cyber attacks and transfer knowledge to vulnerable region, the Western Balkans. To this end, we have established the Western Balkans Cyber Security Capacity Center together with our partner France. Slovenia greatly values cooperation with partner countries such as France and Poland, and the transfer of knowledge in building resilience against cyber attacks by malicious individuals or even state actors. In the context of the Recovery and Resilience Plan, the European Commission has provided significant support for member states to achieve their digitalization targets. Poland and Slovenia are both good at finding innovative approaches to new digital solutions and technologies. The meeting of presidents and business delegations is a good opportunity to explore further possibilities for cooperation in this field. And let me just conclude with something that is really very close to my heart. You probably do know that I am a kind of an IT freak, that I follow modern technologies and especially artificial intelligence. I used to be the information commissioner, totally dedicated to data protection, which is connected to modern IT every single day. And I will just tell you one story from United States of America. There was a guy who was surfing on Google trying to find a gorilla photo. And all of a sudden, among the gorilla photos, there was a photo of one Afro-American guy. So the algorithm behind was a kind of not doing the business okay. It was, in a way, stupid. And one of my friends said about the artificial intelligence, that the artificial intelligence is neither intelligent nor artificial. So there are all men and people behind it. And what Google found out at that time, that the algorithm, the artificial intelligence behind it, which was developing really fastly at that time already, it was 7 years ago, and they had to make corrections. And for some time, you were not able to search for gorilla photos on Google because the experts need to repair the mistake. What's the essence of this story? In Silicon Valley, in the United States of America, they realized really very soon that artificial intelligence should be developed by multifunctional teams. So it's not enough if you only have IT guys in the team. It's not okay if you only have men in the team. So you really have to be careful when you are developing a product which is going to be globally accessible, that you have men, women, black, white, different religions, different parts of the world, that the people should come and join the group to develop the artificial intelligence. And for cyber attacks, that's of significant importance, because the artificial intelligence can do a lot of good things, but can do a lot of bad things as well. And it's on us to be cautious, and it's on us to take every single measure needed to make a good product. And I'm pretty sure that Polish and Slovenian experts can make wonders, because the knowledge is there. It's in Slovenia, and it's in Poland, and if we find synergies and common efforts, there is no way we can be worse. We can just be, and we will be, better. So thank you, Mr. President, especially to you, for joining us here in this business conference. It's often an added value because the presidents can open the door, can make more publicity. That's our job. Andrzej, thank you very much, and I wish you a pleasant stay again in Slovenia. Yesterday we had a wonderful day, and I wish this day will end the same way. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Now it is our big honor and privilege to welcome on stage the President of the Republic of Poland, Dr. Andrzej Duda.
Honorable Madam President, dear Natasha, Excellencies, distinguished guests from Slovenia and from Poland, I would like to thank our hosts for inviting me to take part in the Polish-Slovenian Digital Forum in Planica. I'm especially grateful to Madam President Nataša Pirc Musar for being here and for her commitment to strengthening Polish-Slovenian ties. I would also like to express my gratitude to all the organizers, speakers, and guests of today's forum. Cybersecurity and digital connectivity are of highest importance, especially in the context of the ongoing Russian aggression against Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, we consider Slovenia a close, trusted and important partner of Poland, both in terms of bilateral and regional cooperation. It needs to be highlighted that our dialogue takes place on many levels and with the involvement of many institutions as well as business communities. Slovenia is Poland's important trade partner and an excellent market for Polish products. Over the last 2 decades, our volume of trade has been growing systematically. We appreciate the fact that Slovenia is a key destination for Polish companies looking to expand and grow. More and more Polish entrepreneurs are seeing Slovenian market as a chance for boosting their businesses or as a corridor to other destinations. At the same time, Poland looks very much forward to welcoming Slovenian investors. We encourage Slovenian entrepreneurs to use the instruments offered under the Polish Investment Zone facility, such as tax exemptions, subsidies, or financial and training support from local labor office. Although our cooperation is going very well, there is still some room for improvement. Poland sees high potential for expanding our ties, especially in the ICT, cybersecurity, logistics, and transport sectors. Many Polish companies are interested in participating in Slovenian infrastructure projects, and our know-how may prove useful in the cybersecurity of the banking sector. Other areas of cooperation may include innovations in energy transition and climate protection. I'm convinced that joint Polish-Slovenian research projects can bring tangible benefits for both parties. Ladies and gentlemen, like Slovenia, Poland attaches great importance to regional cooperation. The 3Cs initiative and its objectives provide great potential for the development of the Polish-Slovenian infrastructure connections stretching from the Baltic to the Adriatic Sea. We also start our discussions on developing strategic digital infrastructure, strengthening the region's cybersecurity, and expanding net zero technologies. I'm glad that these topics, among others, were chosen for today's forum in Planica. Both Poland and Slovenia are exposed to attacks in cyberspace due to the current situation in the region, the main determinant of which is Russian aggression against Ukraine. Therefore, it's worth sharing experience and good practices in this area. Innovative solutions offered by Polish companies can meet the needs of the Slovenian market and can contribute to bilateral projects in the field of information and communications technology, industrial cybersecurity, code security, identity verification, cryptography, or artificial intelligence. Dear Madam President, Excellencies, I hope that today's event will also be an excellent opportunity to seek synergies between technology providers from the digital sector. I look forward to the development of Polish-Slovenian cooperation, and I wish you many new business ideas. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And now we need some signatures. We'll sign two memorandums, and the first will be a memorandum of cooperation between Spirit Slovenia and PAIH, the Polish Investment Trade Agency. And I'm really happy to announce the signature. I invite on stage Mr. Rok Capl, CEO of Spirit Slovenia, and His Excellency Dr. Krzysztof Olendzki, the Ambassador of the Republic of Poland to Slovenia. We already heard that Poland is defined as a priority market for Slovenia within the program for the promotion of investment and internationalization of the Slovenian economy. So we have the first pair of signatures. We need another one. So once again, it's a memorandum between Spirit Slovenia and the Polish Investment and Trade Agency. Thank you very much. Your Excellency Dr. Olendzki and Mr. Capl.
That this agreement will make us rich and close.
As you may have heard, the ambassador already knows that Slovenia is so small that you don't need a microphone actually to be heard. And now we go to the next signing of the agreement between ZIT, the ICT Association of Slovenia, and Digital Poland. I'm happy to invite on stage Mr. Igor Zorko, President of the ICT Association of Slovenia, which is a part of the Strategic Research Innovation Partnership Go Digital, and Mr. Michał Kanownik, President of Digital Poland Association. He's also the representative of the CE Digital Coalition Digital Poland. So let's sign it, gentlemen. Hopefully there's still some ink in the pens. Apparently yes. And the change. We'll discuss the agreement then later on in the second panel. So thank you very much, Mr. Zorko and Mr. Kanownik.
Microphone, unfortunately. So first of all, thank you very much for the big honor for me to sign this agreement during this forum. Thank you very much, Madam President, Mr. President, for being ambassadors of ICT sector of Polish and Slovenian market. I'm sure that this agreement will be very fruitful for Polish and Slovenian companies. For me, it's very important to build the awareness, build understanding of our common needs, common interest in creating new products, new services, digital products, services for market. 3 years ago, I created a digital coalition of CE countries. I deeply believed that it would be very fruitful cooperation. Today, we made one more step, a huge step, to our future, digital future. And I hope that will be this agreement and today's forum will be not only fruitful for different trade agreement between Polish and Slovenian companies, but what is the most important for me, we will create common cross-border projects, new products, new services together, Polish and Slovenian companies. And I'm sure that together we are able to create our region, CE region, as a real digital hub for whole Europe. And please remember, and I hope that we all understand and agree that future of Poland, Slovenia, our CE region and whole Europe is digital. And let's make this digital future better for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. We know each other for a few years, so we also do the Slovenian ICT Association and Polish ICT Association cooperate also in digital coalition now for 4 years, I think. We have a lot of common interests and we have a lot of common problems. As you know, we have more than 20 different regulation packages for digitalization, which is not something that is only bother the ICT companies, but mostly society, business community, and also the governments. So we are some kind of gatekeepers. We are trying to see what will happen in the next step in Slovenia, Poland, and all the small countries. We'll see how to implement it, how to support it, and at the same time, how to use technology, I think, in our region, in Poland and Slovenia, and also do the projects for world or Europe. And I think the first steps we already did in the past.
Let's create together a real global player in ICT sector.
This is our goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we will elaborate on that in our second panel. As you may see, Mr. Zorko is an active basketball player still. Slovenia is a former European champion in men's basketball, but we know from the last World Championships that even Poland can beat Slovenia in basketball, unfortunately. So, thank you very much. The official part of our program is now closed. We'll now arrange the stage for the first panel discussion, and you will see the panelists. I will introduce then when we arrange the podium. So, guys, let's start arranging the podium. In the meantime, I will tell you something about Slovenia and Poland, how complementary we actually are. We have heard both state presidents. So, can we make the switch of the presentations? Yes. Well, first of all, what do you see here? I mean, love. Yeah. So Slovenia is the only country in the world which has love in its name, but it's not, of course, everything about love. Although we are known as good lovers. Anyway, but I will stop with this. Yeah. Yes. Both presidents have unfortunately to leave. So we'll inform you about the outcome of the panels later. So thank you very much and enjoy Planica. Thank you also both ambassadors. So, thank you. Please sit down or you can remain standing if you want. So we have to rearrange now the podium. But I can tell you something about how actually Slovenia and Poland are really complementing, and I'll present you some examples. Now, did you know that music was actually invented in Slovenia some 60,000 years ago? Who knew that? Also our guests from Poland. No, actually, it's a fact, because this is a whistle made out of bear bone, and it was found in Slovenia, and it's still the oldest music instrument excavated on Earth. And the music was actually invented by Slovenian Neanderthals. Now, I have a replica with me, so you can, in the coffee break, you may test it. If you will be able to whistle, then you sure have Neanderthal genes. If not, then it's been lost. So actually, it's a fact that music, and that's the oldest musical instrument found on Earth, was invented in Slovenia. But of course, we know that later, many years later, a Polish genius perfected music. Of course, Mr. Chopin. Then, did you know that actually sustainable mobility was invented by Stone Age rocket scientists in Slovenia? Because that's the remain of the oldest wooden wheel found on Earth, with a wooden axis, and it was found near the capital of Ljubljana, and it is 5,200 years old. In that time, it was rocket science, and it was actually, as I said, invented by Stone Age Slovenians. Now, of course, we know that many years later, a Polish woman took science to a new level. So we're a kind of complement. If you would like to have an idea how the card of the year 3175 before Christ looked like, the Slovenian invention, it was like this. It was actually powered by men or animals. So that was the Tesla of the Stone Age. And of course, and this makes us very proud, then Slovenians actually provided another big invention for the world and for mankind. It's ski flying. And this picture is actually from the first ski flying competition in 1934 in Planica, because a Slovenian civil engineer, he was partly of Czech origin, had the idea, he constructed airplanes, but he had the idea that actually people should also fly on their skis. So his idea was to fly over 100 meters, and the first competition was here exactly 90 years ago. And the next year we already had, and you have the list there, we have a first Polish jumper who actually jumped the world record, which was then 95 meters. It lasted only a couple of minutes because there were some Norwegians actually doing better. So this is how complementary we are. And now I'm really happy to announce our members of the first panel, which will tackle the challenges for companies in the age of digital opportunities. Mostly we will touch upon cybersecurity. I'm really happy to announce the only lady of the panel, Ms. Isabela Albrecht, Director of the Cybersecurity Center at the AGH University of Science and Technology and co-founder of CyberSec. Please, yeah. An applause. So, Ms. Albrecht. Then I'm happy to announce Mr. Jacek Łągiewicz, Vice President of Digital Poland, who is also the Corporate Affairs Director at Samsung Electronics. Welcome. Then we have Mr. Krzysztof Olendzki, founder and member of the Management Board and CEO of Stilsec Mobile. So welcome. And we have three Slovenian participants, Dr. Malko Hölbl, Assistant Professor and Vice Dean for Research at the University of Maribor, Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, to be precise. Then we have Mr. Milan Gabor, CEO of Virus, a certified ethical hacker. And last but not least, Mr. Igor Hostnik, Business Development Manager at Actual IT. Do we have enough seats? Oh, sorry. Well, I was given... No? Sure. You weren't deleted because you're here, so... so yeah. Oh.
Also, I was put on the iPhone. Okay. Well, I don't know why.
No, okay, then you're happy to come, Mr. Wędrowski. You're initially, it was said that actually we have 3 Michaus on the second panel. What we need now, because we have a shortage of chairs, we need another chair. You can take the white one. No problem, we'll squeeze and I'll stand here. Sorry for that, Mr. Wędrowski. We'll try to fix it. So, okay, now we all see this is great. So, it will be mostly on cybersecurity. We'll start with you, Ms. Albrecht. You're a political scientist by initial profession. Okay, thank you. So, I mean, what is your take on what we would like to discuss here? International cooperation, of course. You can break it if you want. No problem. It would be actually a good sign. Yeah. I mean, both presidents also mentioned the complexity of the world we live in and the dangers we have here and especially around us. So, what is your view on the current position when it comes to cybersecurity? What can we learn from Poland? How do you look at Slovenia, which is pretty small from the Polish perspective, but anyway?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon or good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me for this important event. It's also my first visit to lovely Slovenia. And I'm particularly glad that I could combine it with this conference. I would like to start with probably remarks to what was said before by Madam President and Mr. President of Poland. They both mentioned the 3Cs initiative. Mm-hmm. So I would like to probably start with the personal but professional reflection, because in 2018 in the Kościuszko Institute, the think tank that I previously chaired, we introduced the idea of adding the cybersecurity dimension for 3Cs initiative collaboration, and it was actually combined with quite practical projects which we can introduce within the 3Cs initiative. First of all, it's important to build digital infrastructure which is secure by design, and the fact was actually mentioned today, so it's great to see that this practical, let's say, dimension of the collaboration is actually starting to take off, so it's great. It's also great to hear that our association, ICT-oriented association, are working together already. In Poland, we also have cybersecurity-oriented association, which is Polish Cybersecurity Cluster. And it now gathers almost 50 companies. So the lessons learned might be also to build this kind of cluster in Slovenia to support cybersecurity sector, which is very important one. We know how many cyber attacks our networks and systems need to handle every day, and also what is the cost of those attacks. So it's very important to learn from that fact also that the cybersecurity market is rapidly growing, and so there is a place for our companies, Polish and Slovenian companies, on that market. So we should definitely support their competitiveness. And basically, speaking also on behalf of the cluster, because I'm in the board of experts for that organization, I would definitely encourage to start collaboration and discussing possible introduction of this type of organization also here and in Slovenia. And I would like to also reflect on what Madam President said about the women's role in cybersecurity. And highlight the fact that this collaboration between Polish chapter of Women for Cyber and Slovenian chapter of Women for Cyber is actually quite active. This is the umbrella organization for that collaboration is Women for Cyber with headquarters in Brussels. So we establish also national chapters, and this initiative is focused on educating, building awareness, and also encouraging women to enter the cybersecurity and STEM career path. And this way we are trying to actually support what was said by Madam President to make sure that the diversity in ICT and cybersecurity sector will be growing, and I'm super happy that the collaboration is already up and running in that respect.
Great to hear. We will come to let's say, specific fields where we could do together better, but I would like to challenge Mr. Wągiewicz because you're also an important person when it comes to the cybersecurity ecosystem in Poland. So how do you do it, and what would you actually see as best practices which could be interesting for Slovenia in this regard?
Thank you. Yes, in fact, for the last 5 years, I believe, we have been doing a lot as business in Poland to create quite unique private-public partnership programs. We call it PW Cyber in Poland, and it is a special project in which the government entities, or even maybe wider, the authorities, local, central, work together with business, but also with the NGOs to create quite unique, because based on delivering real business value results. And it is quite comprehensive, built on 5 pillars. Maybe I will not go very much into details, but these 5 pillars consist of joint vulnerability protection, so monitoring different threats and vulnerabilities and fast reaction to them. Then a lot of education, especially in cyber resilience, which is very much needed in the public sector for sure. Then we have also a lot in joint spreading the innovation, also in cybersecurity, including AI. And finally, the cooperation in certifying. Certification is right now one of the major challenges. We have the Cyber Resilience Act coming from Brussels to be actually not implemented, but actually to be introduced in all member states of Europe, and this will be very much about the certification of the end devices. And this is something that we do already in Poland. One of the examples, to finalize my answer to you, is a joint program, joint solution developed by Samsung together with the major Polish integrator ASECO company, actually the largest European integrator right now, that provides a paperless solution that is built on the Samsung devices, but with the Polish companies developing the software. And together all this solution is based on the qualified e-signature and ensures that we may work on the digital documents in a very secure way.
Great, it's impressive. Mr. Seransky, what do you think? I mean, you're also involved in cybersecurity business in the, let's say, in its whole variety. You also have international experience. So how do you see the present situation, and where do you see possible improvements in Polish-Slovenian relationship in this regard?
Okay, there is, I would say, almost lack of cooperation now in the cyber sector between Slovenia and Poland. So we need to change it. Of course, we can cooperate closely with threat intelligence, because we are in different geopolitical regions, so we can see different things. So that is one very important thing. And the second, as my colleague said, there is Cyber Resilience Act that will be implemented in the next months and years. And we can cooperate with certification about devices and software. That's why, because Poland is the one of 8 countries in Europe that have certification schemes available, and we have certification body ready to cooperate, for example, for laboratories here in Slovenia, and to certify for common criteria Slovenian products.
Great. Mr. Wędrowski, you're CEO and president of Rublon, and you wrote us that you would like to tackle especially cryptocurrencies. Well, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, Slovenia is quite an advanced country. We're probably the only country in the world which has a monument dedicated to Bitcoin at a roundabout in the nearby town of Kran, which is, I think, 5th largest city in Slovenia. So this is quite big. We have some cryptocurrency millionaires, which is, or better to say, the largest concentration of Bitcoin millionaires per capita in the world. But it's not. I know it's not your issue. What are the thoughts you would like to share with us when it comes to cybersecurity and cryptocurrencies?
Yeah. So in those points that I prepared regarding our panel discussion, I mentioned cryptocurrencies as the first word, and maybe that's the reason why I was moved to the AI panel later on.
Okay, but you have
reason,
been removed, as you see, so you're back.
So the reason why I mentioned this is because I believe that nowadays the existence of cryptocurrencies actually increased the cybersecurity market so much, because it's so easy nowadays to make money with cyber attacks because of ransomware. I think last month maybe, but this year there was a big ransomware payment in the US because a medical firm got attacked, and they paid $22 million, about 350 bitcoins for that. There is so much going on. It's a billion-dollar industry, and these things, they're automated. That industry, that ransomware industry, is becoming very big. Even small players are being attacked. So even if you're a small company, even a small school, you might get attacked because it's all automated in an automated fashion.
So do you have a solution to that? Just abolish cryptocurrencies? No.
No, I don't feel myself as so knowledgeable to really say anything about the policy regarding cryptocurrencies. I think they do bring some innovation. I do believe that cybersecurity vendors, solutions that are out there, are able to help a lot. A lot of attacks are based on the human factor. It's a Verizon report that came out last year, and they're saying that over 70% of all attacks are based on the human factor. And one part of them is credential theft. So we are involved in MFA, multi-factor authentication. So it's obviously my point of view that is focused in this area. But protecting the logins of employees, even regular employees, with strong authentication is very important, I believe. Of course, there are many other things that you also have to do. But passwordless MFA is something that is going to be coming up. It's not easy to implement this because a lot of companies still use legacy software. And then you have vendors that come in that make it easier, but it's still a challenge.
Still a challenge in Poland too, specifically?
Globally, I believe. So it's really about the technologies that are used inside organizations. Once they're going to be updating their infrastructure, it's going to be becoming easier, but it's taking a long time. I'm even wondering myself. Last year we were getting requests from customers saying that they need MFA for Windows Server 2008, and last year was 2023. So you can imagine the technical depth that is still out there. So I believe that there is a lot of work that needs to be done here. The other thing I believe regarding cybersecurity vendors is that it's a market that does not, where the first or the biggest company is not a winner that takes it all. You're able to build a rather small cybersecurity vendor that has clients that trust you, or really customers that trust you. You work with channel partners. That's why we're here today too, to find contacts to local integrators, to do that kind of collaboration. But the good thing is that what I believe that as a region in Poland and in Slovenia, there is a lot of potential in building and developing local players, maybe even together, that are able to secure the infrastructure here in this region without having to use foreign solutions.
Great. Dr. Helb, you represent the Slovenian academia. Of course, also you're active in many national and international bodies regarding cybersecurity. How do you see this position of Slovenia in Central Europe? How do you see the cooperation with Poland? How compatible are we actually, from your point of view, in our joint endeavors to make the world safer also on the, let's say, cyber level?
I think that both Poland and Slovenia face the same challenges as in regard to cybersecurity. As was said before by my predecessors, that there are some problems with, let's say, skilled manpower regarding cybersecurity. So from the perspective of academia, of course, this is one of the challenges. We need to have more trainings, more education towards building, on the one side, cybersecurity experts, and on the other hand, also to raise awareness or to make ordinary people more resilient to some extent. And on the other part of the medal, we have also research innovation. So I think regarding Poland and Slovenia, some joint collaboration in research innovation projects with of course the companies and also the public sector or academia would benefit, and we could somehow try to find synergies in order to improve cybersecurity resilience on the one hand, and also to strive to let's say boost cybersecurity on the global level.
You said would, but what would we need to actually make it easier for companies and universities and science institutions to collaborate?
Maybe some intensifying of collaboration, bilateral collaboration between Poland and Slovenia would be a very useful facilitator for that. We also have other means like, I don't know, European funding or European endeavors, but still, you know, if you have bilateral, let's say, cooperation, that intensifies cooperation, of course. It's not the same if you just join a consortium or if we have bilateral projects between companies from Poland, Slovenia, and also other players like NGOs, like academia and similar players.
It's okay. Perhaps today is the day when everything started. Now we go to Mr. Gabor, who is the CEO of Virus. He's quite known in Slovenia as the ethical hacker and, of course, cybersecurity professional. How do you see it from your, let's say, point of view? You're an entrepreneur, but you're also sort of, let's say, cybersecurity evangelical, without any religious ambitions. I would say so. So, could you share with us your view on the present situation? Yeah.
To hug the discussion, but if I may add something to the academic collaboration
no problem,
at this point.
Yeah, okay.
So you ask what we need.
Yeah.
We also need data regarding cyber incidents, and I'm here also to meet scientists and researchers from Institute Stefan Józef in Ljubljana to encourage them and invite them to join our project, which is soccer project. It's for Security Operations Center collaboration.
Nothing to do with football, no? Okay.
No, but
okay.
Cybersecurity is a team sport, and
Okay, yeah.
so basically this way we can make this analogy. But so what we do in our university, together with universities from other Eastern European countries, Central Eastern European countries, we are building Security Operations Center. This way, monitoring different endpoints, so thousands of endpoints, we will be also able to gather data regarding cyber incidents. We will also going to collaborate with global companies who are providing additional cyber threat intelligence, also so-called synthetic data are quite relevant to innovate, use AI algorithms to try to increase the effectiveness of cybersecurity tools. So this is, for example, a very tangible project. I'm here also to speak about it with this institute, and we are going to apply for additional funding from the European Commission. So data is also critical skills, as was said, but data as well.
Shane, thank you very much for this intervention. The Jozef Stefan Institute is the biggest science institute in Slovenia, and they have a special section dedicated to AI, and they are also the chair of a UNESCO program of open science, but also dealing with artificial intelligence, especially in dealing with fake news. So I think that they're quite an interesting asset we have. So back to you, Mr. Gaber. So how do you see the situation from your entrepreneurial point of view?
Yeah, well, regarding the cooperation with Poland, I can say that there is almost as our companies are none at the moment. So regarding this, only I can say the last year I sent one of my, let's say, ethical hackers to the one good conference which was held in Poland. But the other parts, it's kind of I don't see anything moving on regarding this area. But as already Mr. Holbel said, we are actually facing the same problems. We as a professionals, we have a problems with lack of resources. So that's definitely one of the things that we need to be, so like trainings and some other stuff. Then I see also as one of the mentors for the student European cybersecurity challenges, I see that Poland was last year 9th, so we have been more at the bottom. I won't be telling which place did Slovenia take.
We're not in the Champions League here?
No.
Oh, that's
no.
Not
Sorry,
not
but that's also one of the possibilities that we can learn and we can share how to approach, because we have been quite new in this area, and maybe sharing some ideas or approaches and that kind of the part. And definitely, that was already mentioned, we all have some different kind of playgrounds that we have, and if we put these playgrounds together, for example, like information sharing, because we have like honeypots, we have large sets of data that could be useful across the, not just in Slovenia, EU, but if we take, let's say, in account and get information from everything, that could be really good source of intelligence, also the threat intelligence. This is also the part. So I see in this definitely areas that we can cooperate, and maybe also, since we have two panels, cybersecurity and AI, but you see in these two separate areas that needs to be merged, because cybersecurity has some of let's say evangelists, even on high level, they say in the future we will see that two AIs will be fighting. Our AI, who will be defending.
Slovenian AI will fight the Polish AI?
No, but companies' AIs, and the hackers.
I'm joking.
And the criminals' AI. So maybe in this, and definitely one of this is also because we as a small company, we have a kind of problems also to find some, let's say, reliable partners to apply for European projects, because for us, we're quite small, and in some cases it's also impossible. So definitely joint applications for European projects, that's also.
Together we're better. And last but not least to you, Mr. Hosnik, could you just briefly explain us what you do, and do you have any experience with let's say, Polish market and Polish partners?
Unfortunately not.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, okay.
But I support the idea about exchanging the information because we are working as Group Actual on Cybersecurity Center. Also, we have our own, but the main issue or challenge is, of course, the data. Not the data, but more information or exchange of information, because we are working also in critical infrastructure industry. But I would take, let's say, baby steps toward cooperation. Why? Because perhaps it's embarrassing, but let's say politicals are taking bigger steps, but if you have to execute, at least on cyber field, it has to go not slowly, but small steps. Why I'm saying this? Because we are in a field of supply chain management or supply chain industry, and there is a lot of legacy system. We have to deal with old technology, with new technology. So we have to be prepared on all these fields. And this inequity between large companies and small companies is even widening. The problem is that investment, not just in cybersecurities, are enormous. And of course, small companies or business, they have lack of those resources, but they need the same level of security. So we take account that we will cooperate with Poland.
So the challenges are the same. It's a question for all of you. If some of you would have the wish to reply. I mean, you said big and small companies. Poland is really big. Sometimes in Slovenia we are not aware of the fact how big Poland is. And on the other hand, Slovenia is quite small. So, okay, probably in Poland they don't recognize us always because we're so small. But on the other hand, we should be more flexible, especially in Slovenia. So do you see any complementaries here? I mean, a big market like Poland and a small market like Slovenia who could be a little bit more flexible and being a sort of a playground or a testing ground for things?
If I may add, yes, I agree. I mean, we are present from Black Sea to Malta with not just seaports, with this kind of technology. And why we are their partners? Because we are flexible. And of course, on some bigger markets, like in Germany, we are not that appreciated because we are too small, because they need a lot of manpower. They don't need specialities, they need manpower. So it differs from project to project, but our flexibleness is, let's say, our ace because we are present in the region.
It's astonishing that that was a Slovenian who first mentioned Germany, but okay, no problem.
So my comment would be that, first of all, Slovenia is very much known for having the highest share of IT professionals in population in the region.
But this is because we're so few in total.
True, but we still really appreciate how much effort you put in actually learning, teaching also the skills, and then developing them in business environment. And I believe, like my colleague said here, describing the soccer initiative, cybersecurity is very much the teamwork, and we are all meeting here today, but also during some other events across the Central Europe or the 3Cs initiative, and it's quite clear that there is this cooperation, and we find partners already in other countries that work with Poland, with our business. That's true that Poland actually has quite big population, which creates big market, and so on. It's easier to start the business here. However, we also say that this is like a curse for Poland, because we are quite big enough to start business, but then we are too small to develop this business further. And if you create a good business in a smaller country, it's much easier to jump on the global market than for the Polish companies here. So, from different perspective, you have different views. What I may say from the Samsung perspective, we have created the largest R&D center in the world, away from Korea, from our mother country, in Warsaw, Poland, and we already look for many different initiatives and cooperations across the region. So I would be very happy to discuss how to find this joint business value in using Samsung hardware technology and market access, but on the other hand, looking for very new, innovative solutions in software and in new areas where we are also looking for growth, like AI, for example.
This is great.
So very much looking for partners here in Slovenia.
And very specific. Do we have any questions from the audience, actually? I must say that asking questions during a panel is not a national sport in Slovenia. We have many. Ski flying is just one of them. But do we have any questions, any interventions? If not, people are waiting for the coffee break to ask questions then. So don't be surprised if you'll be addressed by people during the coffee break. Now, going around another one. So I mean, when you look at your vision and your look of the potential we might have together, how do you see, let's say, the near future? Also, perhaps in realizing more joint potential of Poland and Slovenia on your field of work, and we'll start with you, Mr. Wędrowski.
So I think one very important thing was already mentioned: sharing data.
Okay.
Data regarding attacks within SOCs, because they play a very important role in protecting organizations, especially large organizations, and I think countries should be sharing that data.
Mm-hmm.
Also institutions inside these countries. On the other hand, regarding education, I think there is a lot of potential regarding collaboration between universities.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big potential way to really build innovation across the region.
Mm-hmm. Great. What do you think, Ms. Albrecht?
Innovation is a key word. We are living through times where emerging and disruptive technologies are changing rapidly the technological landscape and cybersecurity landscape. So potential of our experts, academic experts, but also experts from private companies, can be used in a way that very often I try to compare to what was done in Poland. It started in 1930s, when Polish scientists started to try to break the Enigma code.
Yeah.
And so basically we are living through very dynamic times in terms of geopolitics. And so I think that we should think about this innovation the same way. They can increase our security, resilience, and defenses. And so this potential in innovation should be used. So I guess that I would encourage our experts and scientists to work on tangible projects, use EU funds, but also frames established by NATO, for example. There's a Diana project, which is Defense Innovation Accelerator for North Atlantic.
And you're also involved in that?
I am, and I'm also happy probably to announce that one of those accelerators will be located in Kraków at AGH University, AGH University, and Krakow's Technology Park. So we are very eager to also start discussion about the way how we can encourage also Slovenian partners and entities to work with us on that. And maybe another point, we are now also, we need to also to implement EU regulations. There was like tsunami of regulations. So NIS2, DORA, Cyber Resilience Act, and so on and so forth. So we can also collaborate in terms of sharing best practices, ideas on how to implement some of them. Some regulations need to be basically translated directly to our legislation, but in some cases we can discuss the best options regarding the implementation and sharing our experience here to make it smart and more effective. And the same goes for another regulations which European Union, for example, is planning to implement or planning to put into the decision-making process. We can collaborate because we have the same interests here. So I guess that there is also a potential that can be tapped.
Great, Mr. Rongiewicz, you're also originally a political scientist, just like Ms. Albrecht. How do you see that let's say, the really complicated the situation in the world would actually influence the endeavors of the future? Also, when it comes to cooperation between Poland and Slovenia, we're both EU members, we're both NATO members. That's probably a very good start if we would like to do, let's say, better also together.
Well, that's a very good question. I believe, for the last decade we have seen that the world is dividing. It's quite of a truism. We still believe in Europe that we compete with Chinese companies. We don't compete with Chinese companies. There are no Chinese companies. There is only Chinese government and state. But we often don't remember that there are two internets, that people in Iran do not have access to internet, Russia the same. So actually we still have in mind that something that is natural to us as EU members, as NATO members, is the world that we are living on everywhere globally. That's no longer true for a decade right now. Yes. So
this view is probably still widespread in Slovenia. I would say a bit less in Poland, because I mean you're really very close to the threat. So I mean, do you see as a problem that we're probably not so aware of all the dangers?
No, I would not see a problem. I would see that this is the chance for us to team up. The entire IT or digital actually industry is very much about teaming up, and I believe we share the same values, and we may create, and we do create the business value in that areas. That's our countries, the West or the open world, I would say, when we believe in competition, when we believe in freedom of speech, when we believe in the basic values, and on these values we also build the solutions. Today, that's also obvious. The smartphone is something that is like everyone has the computer, the personal computer. The smartphone became the PC from the last era. Traveling with him, keeping his data, monitoring
him
the
or
trains.
her.
Him or her.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. I'm still learning inclusive language. Him or her. And this is the natural world for us, but our kids are born in this world already. And the challenge that we have is that we should also be smart enough to keep them human, not to make them.
This is the hard part, I would say.
So this is the way we are thinking in the West, I would say, and that's something that creates our way of thinking, and creates great potential for all of us here in this region to work on the best solutions, and that's how we proceed.
Great, Mr. Seransky, your vision. Although we know, but you're not a politician. You know that we have this German Chancellor Schmidt, who once said, "Well, people who have visions should see a doctor." But okay, he was a politician, and it applies only to politicians. What is your vision? Let's say on our cooperation. Of course, the situation we're going in.
Okay, I'm from business part, so
you can have
thinking,
visions, yeah.
So I'm thinking about business. So we cooperate with small countries. For example, in cybersecurity, we closely cooperate with Luxembourg. So we know how to cooperate with small markets.
They're really small. I mean,
yes.
Even from the Slovenian point of view.
Yes,
but they're
exactly.
rich.
Yeah. And now they are focused on cybersecurity. Yes. So the same way we can cooperate with Slovenia. And what is the difference between our countries? Small countries must be focused on export. And Poland, which is not so small country, there is maybe not huge but big internal market, and very often our companies focus only on the Polish market, and there is difficult for them to go abroad. And as we know for our partners in the different part of the world, many people thinking that in Poland they are white bears and we are still part of Russia. So it's difficult sometimes to export some technological things from Poland. So maybe we can cooperate with this with Slovenian partners.
That would be interesting. You know, when Slovenia was getting independent, our motto was we would like to be second Switzerland, which was quite funny because we were always aiming to be member of the EU and NATO, which of course Switzerland apparently is not, but we failed in that. We're definitely not second Switzerland. We don't have enough chocolate and gold. But that would be a good motto, be a second Luxembourg or a bigger Luxembourg. And Slovenia to be the first step abroad for Poland.
Yes, that can be a good step.
Okay, great. Dr. Hölbel, your let's say your vision, your view on what we could do in the next years.
So regarding Slovenia is small, Poland is bigger, but at the end we are small players in the global market, which doesn't necessarily mean that we cannot be top in the global market. You know, you have countries a little, let's say, larger than Slovenia, which are very good at something they do. For instance, Estonia, to give an example.
Estonia is not larger than Slovenia, please.
No, it's smaller.
Smaller,
yeah. So it's smaller, and countries can do a lot. We think that maybe the benefit of having a bigger cooperating country can be also in data sharing, also maybe to test bad stuff we do, because we have a bigger testing ground in that sense, and also we don't need to forget that we have that threats nowadays go into cyber and can then manifest them in physical world. You know, like I don't know, the threats on the cyber, on the power grid, whatever. So I think that cooperation between Poland and Slovenia could be to benefit from both. So we are maybe like Luxembourg, like there was example of Luxembourg. We are a little smaller, they are a little bit bigger. Cooperation can then foster in the global perspective, I think, a good outcome.
Great. Your position, Mr. Gabor.
Yeah, I just add to some other, because previous I said our students are at the lower part of the European, but when we are going to the NATO exercise or cybersecurity exercises, the Slovenians are on the top. So just, I don't know, probably last year we beaten the Poland also. So we are quite good at the specialists. You know?
We can be good if we want.
But definitely we need extra additional security also, maybe with the help of Poland. The other thing is, regarding, since we are talking about the cybersecurity, there is really one important thing in this area, is like trust. So that's definitely, you know, you have to build like kind of trust. So if you don't know the companies, then you cannot do business in this area, because a lot of depends on trust. So that's maybe one of the points. It's also today's event. It's this trust building. It's, let's say, starting to happen. And then also the possibilities already Marko mentioned, definitely we can be a test bed for some, you know, experiments and other parts, and the last part, you know, we have to be there. You know, you have to be bold in some areas. For example, I can tell that 2 years ago we we had like opportunity to work for the United Emirates government, and we were not afraid to go there and host the cybersecurity championships at their government site. If you're not bold, if you don't dare to do some stuff, to experiment, to go outside of the Poland or European Union, then probably you will not be successful. Maybe these are the 3 key points that needs to be.
We will mention United Arab Emirates in connection with Slovenia and Poland a little bit later.
Okay.
It's not about cybersecurity, but
Okay.
it's about the potential both countries can have. But I will stop now.
That's from my side.
And last but not least, Mr. Hostnik. Well, you mentioned politicians that they of course they encourage the steps, but they're actually mostly too slowly. Because business is far faster. So what can they do for the businesses?
Perhaps it was a bit rude, but
No.
that
It was real.
they should be visionaries. So that's their job, and we should execute. Business. What can politics do for us is building trust, and I agree with my colleague. Because this kind of meetings that we meet in person in this connected world, I believe this is crucial, and that's why we also have some B2B meetings with my colleague after that. But I have a criticism in our government regarding our environment. Environment regarding tax politics, etc. So all politics has to have stable economy, and that's crucial. If we want to invest in some other countries, we need to know where we are stepping in. As I said, we are present from Black Sea to Malta. Of course, we are also searching for partners in Poland now more intensively from today on because of building trust, because we never go by ourselves alone, but always with partners. But we have to have the stable economy, regarding law, tax, etc., because sometimes these obstacles are too big to face them.
Great, thank you very much. Do we have any other questions? Yeah, we have. Just wait for the mic. Oh yeah, Mr. Hostnik will provide it to you.
Andrej Rakar, Petrol. It was already mentioned the hyper-regulation we are facing today. And most of this regulation is actually enforcing cybersecurity in every aspect of our life, how we do the business, how we live. And on the other side, at least from the end-user perspective, we see disapproval. So, what is your view? Should the cybersecurity actually be something as a must, not just, let's say, an optional feature of the solution or not? So, because definitely it is always a balance between, let's say, user experience and security. So you have multi-factor authentication. It's not so nice like just using the software. My view, of course, is that we are living in a cyber world where we are not alone. So every our step, action we do can potentially impact our users as well.
Okay, yeah.
May I start? So basically, I believe in democratic societies, the basic role of the state is to provide the secure infrastructure and secure rules in which citizens may develop their own initiatives, yes? So basically, this is very much needed, and we as the providers of the solutions actually are very happy to find the clear rules upon which such solutions should be developed, because something that is not very welcomed in business is when such rules are not set and we compete with unfair competition that is not fulfilling the standards, because the standards are in such a way if there are no clear regulations, they are set various standards for various technologies. So it's much easier to compete in an environment where the rules, especially rules that govern the security, safety, access to infrastructure, are clear. And I believe, of course, we may now debate whether all these regulations coming from Brussels in the last 2 years are needed. I believe they are. But basic answer to your question, I believe, is that we all need it.
Okay.
Just one question. When you today sat in your car, did you fasten your seatbelt? Yes. 40 years ago, that was not normal. So if we draw a comparison, the cybersecurity, it's going to be like belt if you want to drive through the highways of informational, the highways on informational age. So probably the answer is yes, but we have to do a lot, and the cyber hygiene is their part that needs to be started. But probably, I don't know how it's with the cyber hygiene in Poland, but in Slovenia, we still have a lot of things to do, but it's going to go in this way, in my opinion.
And from the endpoint, and from the it's working. From the end user, that is very comfortable when you're taking your phone. That, for example, phone, you know that it is secure. For example, now it's safe because there is some radiations norms that should be performed by this device, but the same should be with cyber security.
Maybe, as Milan has mentioned, cyber hygiene, people need to have, end users also need to have some knowledge to use specific real-life applications, or not applications and software. So for cybersecurity, I think you have to build in cybersecurity, but on the other hand also that people at least have some baseline of some knowledge, like driving a car. You cannot just simply go into a car and drive it, yeah? You have to have a license for that, yeah? So from this perspective, I don't say that people need to have license to use computers, but still it would be beneficial to also part of this cybersecurity problem to address the end users, because, end users can still be the ones with every technology built in, cybersecurity technology, end users can still break it.
Yeah. Ladies have the last word in Slovenia, so it's probably we'll follow the tradition.
Now I need to figure it out to use the best words at the end. Totally agree with what my colleagues said. We need to improve the security of the cyber world, which we created without security in mind necessarily. So now all those steps are needed. Plus, we need to make sure also that we will not augment this cyber and digital reality with new vulnerable devices, components, and so on and so forth. So we need to think carefully what products we added to this very complex environment. They should come from trusted vendors, for sure. And to illustrate the situation which we are in, actually, because of cyber attacks, our global economy is losing around 1% every year. Our president, Andrzej Duda, came here to Slovenia also to convince your president to increase the spending on defense. If we could decrease those losses because of cyber criminals, we have additional money to build our defenses in the real world, and I think that this is something which we should keep in mind. That's why those regulations are also important, because we need to decrease the cyber-related losses to be able also to increase our security.
Great. Thank you very much. So this is the end of our first panel, and we have qualified for a coffee break now, which is, of course, all deserved, especially by the panelists. Of course, there's no problem if you'll be addressed during the coffee break with additional questions our audience might have. So thank you very much for that. We'll go on with our next panel at 12:15 sharp. So enjoy the coffee, enjoy the view, enjoy the flights, and please be back at 15 past noon. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now go on with our second panel, so you're kindly invited to come back. And we will start the second panel on artificial intelligence shortly. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're kindly invited to come back to our forum, the Slovenian-Polish Business Forum. And we'll start with the panel on cybersecurity, and then followed by the presentation of the Polish delegation and also of Slovenian businesses before we have some lunch. So you can see all panelists here. Of course, we have already seen Mr. Wędrowski, who took part in the first panel. But before we start with our panel, let me go back to, well, we have to change this. Another presentation of let's say, very positive Slovenian partnerships, Slovenian-Polish partnerships in the past. Again, you know, love Slovenia and so on. By the way, I hope it's not insulting, but you know what Pol means in Slovenian? It means po, half. So Poljska would be actually translated in Slovenian as a half country, so you definitely need something to be complete, and Slovenia would be a great fit. Why? We will show you now, not only because we have love in our name, but you know that probably the most famous Slovenian in Polish history was a queen, a Polish queen. Anna Zilejska or Anna used to be the queen consort of Poland from 1402 to 1416, and she was the second wife of the famous king of Jogjawa, Władysław Jagiełko II. So she was originally from Celje. We didn't have any royal family in Slovenian history so far, so she's our only royal, and she used to be Polish queen. And you know, that's the Slovenian coat of arms, and the 3 stars above are actually the stars of Counts of Celje, who were in the beginning of the German origin, but then they mingled together with their Slovenian servants, so they became Slovenians with the time. Then, of course, the most famous Polish personalities in Slovenia are, for my generation, Lolek and Bolek. So we grew up with them, so we know that they're Polish. For the generation of our parents, it was definitely Henryk Sienkiewicz. So they grew up with his literature. Then, of course, the most famous Polish personalities in Slovenia are Adam Małysz, who was the last Polish jumper to jump a ski flying world record here in Planica. You see that was in 2003, and he was the first competitor to fly to 225 meters. And of course, Robert Lewandowski, now playing at Barcelona, and he's even able to score a goal against the best goalkeeper in the world, which happens to be a Slovenian, Jan Oblak, playing for Atletico Madrid. So we know them very well. Then a very interesting story. This is a very famous Polish personality in Slovenia, Emil Korytko. Do our Polish guests actually know who Emil Korytko was? No. I can tell you about him. Well, he was a Polish political activist, but in the 19th century, in the period of the great emigration, and he was exiled by Austrian authorities to Ljubljana, to present Slovenia, and became a very important ethnographer, philologist and translator from Slovenian into Polish here. And he collected a collection of Slovenian folk songs, actually the first one who did it in the 19th century. And he also contributed to the mutual dialogue between Polish and Slovenian authors and readers. He was actually the one who translated poetry from the most famous Slovenian poet of his time, France Prešeren, who is also the author of the Slovenian anthem, into Polish, and they were also big friends. So he died in Ljubljana, so he really contributed a lot to our culture. And then, of course, UAE, I mentioned, you know, the guy on your right is the best road cyclist in the world right now, Tadej Pogačar, the captain of the UAE team. And on the left, you see, it's his best domestique, and that's a Polish guy, Rafał Majka. So Rafał Majka is very popular here because he does the job for Tadej Pogačar. Then, very interesting, one of the most famous Polish-Slovenian friendships is between tennis players Iga Świątek and Kaja Juvan. Actually, Juvan never won against Świątek. That's probably something which is a little bit disturbing, this friendship. But they won together an Olympic gold medal, actually a youth Olympic medal in 2018 in Buenos Aires, because on the youth level it is possible to share nationality, so they won together in doubles, but they're really best friends. And then, of course, the friendship between David Kubacki and Andrzej Lanišek, the two ski jumpers, and this friendship was last year when Lanišek got third in the overall World Cup. He actually honored David Kubacki, who could not be here because of an accident or illness of his wife. And he knew that actually he could come in third because of the absence of his friend. And Andrzej Lanišek was awarded today a very high order of Poland, the Golden Cross, for his fairness and friendship. So big friendships there. And of course, the most famous Polish personality, Slovenian, is the late Pope John Paul II, and he spoke actually the most famous words in Slovenian with a Polish accent. When he was here during his first visit, he said, "Papež má vás rád," which means the Pope likes you. And now you would say, well, why didn't he say the Pope loves you? Because, you know, with love, although we have it in our name, you know, love can come and go, but if you really care for someone, if you really like him, then you like him. So, I mean, that is what he knew. And if you say Papež má vás rád in Slovenia, you'll be famous too. So just say, I'm from Poland, Papež, and me, I má vás rád. Okay, then you can have a lot of success also in business. And of course, Krakow was mentioned. Of course, we know how beautiful Krakow is, but did you know that we have Krakow in Slovenia too? It's actually a part of Ljubljana. It doesn't look so magnificent as Krakow. It's actually the salad garden of Ljubljana. Very famous. So you have Krakow, we have Krakow. And of course, there's another similarity that we have a lot of Novaks. In Poland and Slovenia, one of the most common surnames in Poland is Novak, which applies also to Slovenian. We have a lot of Novaks with one V, so that's another similarity. And of course, Slovenians love Polish people too. So now we are ready for our second panel, which will be on artificial intelligence. And I'm really happy to announce on stage Mr. Michał Kanownik, President of Digital Poland Association, and also the representative of the CE Digital Coalition, Digital Poland. Welcome, Mr. Kanownik. We already know you from the stage. Then I invite another Michał, Dr. Michał Nowakowski, partner AI and cybersec at ZP Zackiewicz and Partners law firms. No, you're not late. You're just in time. So, Dr. Michał Nowakowski. Are there also Polish guys who are not Michałs in AI business? That's probably the question I will ask. Then we have Mr. Aleš Pevc, Head of Technology Office, developer of creative technologies and new business models in the Technology Park of Ljubljana, which is not located in Krakow. Then we have Mr. Jure Raj from ADAS Slovenia, which means Artificial Intelligence and Data Science section, also representing his company Result. And last but not least, Mr. Igor Zorko, President of the ICT Association of Slovenia, which is a part of the Strategic Research Innovation Partnership Go Digital. And we have already seen Mr. Vendrovsky, so it's only 5 of you, which is actually a lot. So AI, of course, it's extremely important, and I'll start with you, Mr. Kanovnik. You already said when you signed the agreement what it is all about, but what do you personally expect from this agreement? How this will somehow ease our cooperation on the level of AI?
Well, of course, I deeply believe that AI is one of the crucial technology. It could be absolutely future for companies from Poland, from Slovenia, from general CE region. And first of all, I see that we can have in Slovenia, in Poland, in general, a huge number of very talented young engineers. And they can work and create some new services, new products based on AI technology. So first of all, I hope that based on our agreement, we'll be able to create some bridges for companies across the region to create a common project across whole region, not only Polish and Slovenian market. This is the first one. And second one, I hope that across whole region we'll be able to coordinate national strategies on AI. Because one single country in our region, it's impossible to win this opportunity which we have right now based on AI. But if we will be able to create a common strategy, regional strategy, use and development of AI, I think that we can be a global leader in this area, in implementing of AI in different products, different services, especially, for example, in health. We have right now in Poland a very interesting examples of this technology in health companies. So I deeply believe that this is a huge chance for Poland and Slovenian companies, but we need build a support in relations with government, in building a common strategies, common understanding of needs of these markets in this area, a common understanding of opinions about new and future European regulations in different ICT area. And I hope that we'll be able to create a common opinions across the whole region from the governments in the debates on European level to create regulations open for new technologies, open for our local companies, and we'll be able to create open market for our partners across the whole region. And really, my dream is that after a few years of our cooperation across whole region, we will have a real global players in this area from our region. A strong branch in digital industry. It's impossible. It's possible. Excuse me. It's possible.
So,
but
just to quote you again, it is possible.
It's possible, absolutely. But we have to work together and invest, even not money, because money we have. We talked to Igor in the meantime. We have money on the market, but we need a support and building awareness across the companies in this area.
Growth. So you defined the Slovenian-Polish dream. We know what American dream is. We know what the Czech dream is. It's a supermarket. But hopefully there are no Czechs here. And of course we know what the German dream is, which is a car, which is partly also Slovenian. But we know now what the Slovenian Polish dream is. Mr. Zorko, because you also signed the agreement. Well, Mr. Karovnik spoke about, let's say, of course we have common values. Do we have common strategies? are we compatible right now? I mean, Slovenia and Poland.
The IT or also AI is a global thing, so it's not local. It's not focused from one side to another one. We don't have one company who do that. We have a lot of companies globally, and I think it's very important that we understand and have a courage to go there and be partner or the competitor to these big players. We have to know that on AI, it's this hardware or technology part, it's then the algorithms, and it's also the usage. And where the others don't have this kind of innovation or this kind of thinking as our region has, because we have to adapt to many different challenges, we have this mentality. We know how to adapt the technology to new needs, to new projects, to new strategies. We don't have the common strategy. We, for last 10 or 15 years, we just copy the European documents, which are not built for us, but for big countries. Before 3, now 2. UK is not anymore in this part.
But Poland is getting big.
Yeah,
bigger.
but it's different. It's different. It don't have the same position.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important. The sea region has a lot of potential, has a lot of knowledge, has a lot of small companies, not the big ones, has a lot of cooperation, has a lot of opportunities, has some gap that we can get over in the development. And I think that we can build these next solutions or next state of mind to develop what Michael already said. So I think the biggest problem we have is awareness of the people who use solutions, not just the providers and not just the governments, but at the same time education, awareness, and also this is a big step. So how to build the programs for the children, for the companies, for the people, how to build the engineers, how to build the knowledge about the sales, about the product development and so on. So we have a lot of homeworks.
One sentence. We have one more thing in our region. Our societies, our companies are hungry of new technology. And we have to use these open minds in our companies about absorption of new technologies. And I fully agree with Igor that, of course, education is crucial. I would like to add two more points. First, education. Second, investments. And third one, it's regulations, but not barriers. Smart, modern regulations for stimulating a market to new in direction of new technologies.
So if there's hunger, let's feed them. Mr. Nowakowski, well, you said, and let's say in the preparation of this panel, that actually the biggest challenge was the AI Act and the implementation. It's a common act affecting Poland and Slovenia too. Why do you think so?
Well, actually, this is not the only regulation that will have an impact on the artificial intelligence sector, to be honest, because we have a lot of regulations referring, for example, to cybersecurity, and it's strictly connected. But when it comes to the AI Act, which was adopted by the European Parliament, it doesn't mean it's adopted at all, because we still need Council last week. It will have a great impact on some types of companies, because we have a definition of the artificial intelligence system, and companies that are willing to or doing actually AI will have to assess whether this AI Act impacts them, right? If the answer is yes, then they will have to make a classification. For example, whether they have an AI system that have high risk or even are prohibited. And in case of non-compliance, the European Union or the local authorities will be able to find them, and the fines actually are quite high, because, for example, when it comes to prohibited practices, for example, manipulating people, or abusing, let's say, people at some point, it could be 7% of global turnover, which is quite high. Why I'm saying this? Because many companies may be reluctant to adopt artificial intelligence because of the costs of the AI Act. So that's the one thing. The second thing is that the Artificial Intelligence Act is quite complicated. When it comes to the definitions, it is unclear whether, let's say, a standard IT system is artificial intelligence or not. So in this case, they will have to hire lawyers, for sure.
Which is good for you.
Yeah, of course. That's true. But it will be expensive for many companies. So some companies may say, okay, we are not doing that. We are going another way. We are looking for loopholes. That's another thing. So that's why I think that the artificial intelligence will have an impact on the business. That's from one side. But the second thing is that, for example, if you would like to be really in compliance, to make trustworthy and responsible AI, you will have to adapt to the AI Act. Even though you are not the addressee, let's say, of the AI Act. So because this is quite important to make artificial intelligence in a way that is ethical, right? So until, of course, you don't have to adopt artificial intelligence at all, right? But you have to adhere to the rules, to the principles that are fundamental for artificial intelligence development, actually.
So what's the solution in there? Could we somehow tackle it together without looking for loopholes, which is also a national sport, let's say, in the region, especially south of us, but unfortunately including Slovenia?
I think that we need recommendations, we need cooperation. Maybe we could develop some kind of a strategy for the Act. Of course, there will be some, let's say, gray areas, but cooperation in this area and making, for example, how is it called in English? Codex dobrych praktyk.
Best practices.
Best practices. Best practices could be the answer to the Artificial Intelligence Act. And it could be not only local, but also international. So that might be an answer.
Great. We go to you, Mr. Pirc. As I said, you're the head of the technology office. The technology park of Ljubljana is quite well known, is actually, let's say, the birthplace or the breeding place of many startups, including AI. Where do you see on your field of work the potential of Slovenian-Polish cooperation?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I really like that we are signed this memorandum of cooperation between Poland and Slovenia, because Eastern Europe has such a potential for development, not just AI, also on the digital level. And I think there is mostly the ecosystems like Technology Park is and other digital ecosystem. We also have some potential on the smart specialization level, which we are not talking about today. But of course, in the future, we will have a lot of opportunity to work on that. From our side, is most important that every company gets some information about possibilities. The first thing, let me explain. When I came to Technology Park 7 years ago, we announced that digitalization is the most important things in the world. So digitalization first. Then we are going with that topic in the all companies and say, okay, you must make a digitalization. Now, after that, we are discovered the circular economy and circular change and say, oh yes. Now we must include these two topics and connect them. And after that, now just 1 year ago, and everything is already changed, we are thinking about artificial intelligence in a grand level. And now our motto is not that digitalization first or circular economy first, then we say AI first. So this is the message, the only message I have for today, that we start thinking the AI first for the every operation we have in companies, including business, including technology skills, including industries. So it's strongly recommendation from our side. Just one thing, and then I'll finish with this topic. The labor market will change, and this will be definitely the big change in the from the, I don't know, 50 years ago. It will be bigger change than when the computers comes here, when the internet comes here, and now artificial intelligence. And like Igor and our co-speakers already say,
both Polish guys are called Michał, so you can fail.
Okay. We must do whatever we can on the education level. So yeah, this should be one of the also the Slovenian and Polish priority in the future.
We'll touch education specifically a little bit later. Let us go to Mr. Jeraj from ADAS Slovenia, not Adidas, but ADAS, which means, as I said, Artificial Intelligence and Data Science section. You also, your company is called Result. So what will result from your opening statement here?
Yeah, first of all, let me explain that artificial intelligence is very fine to her, but I'm not the expert in the artificial intelligence. What is very interesting, because I'm leading the section in our ICT association, because I'm the fan of the data, because we are all the time talking about the artificial intelligence, but we are not talking about the data perhaps enough. And the first way,
which is actually the food of artificial intelligence.
Can be the food or any other 100 synonyms about that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but the data are the first things we can make breaking the borders, because interoperability of the data is one of the big things when we can collaborate. So data exchanging with all those new ways we are getting to there, because we are talking about the AI Act, but we have also the Data Act in the European Union. With all those acts, I do not see the things why we cannot do anything, but we can do a lot of things. We just need to take some regulations. So we now have in the Europe Data Spaces Initiative, so sharing the data, using the data. And my motto is to get the value from the data. So when we are talking about the skills, it's not just the AI skills, which of course is needed, but also all other things like business and the data innovations. And I think the ways where we can collaborate is to use the innovations, what we can bring from the data. For example, now we are in the Planica. With the artificial intelligence or with the data, we can replace the ski-flying judges, for example, or at least we can help them.
Especially the German and the Austrian ones.
Yeah, of course. Well, perhaps not the way that to replace them, but perhaps to have the better education for this judging, because with the artificial intelligence and the data, we can process much more ski-flying details as with other things. And this is the way, I think, when we can continue to merge all those to get things. And about this collaboration, perhaps a little bit later, because I know that the discussions will be quite hot right now.
Yeah, Michał, just go on.
Thank you. Just a few sentences. Data is the food or oil, that's true, and also the European Union is willing to open data at some point. But we still, even if you have, for example, Open Data Directive, even if you have a Data Governance Act or a Data Act, which will allow us to, explore more data, we still need cooperation in the area of gathering this data and processing this data. And this is the role of the business and also the public bodies to make it more open, like the European Union doing, for example, in the healthcare or medical data spaces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mr. Zorko.
We have a big problem that nobody else but IT guys understands what we are talking about. So if we compare, for example, mobility, the children have to learn how to go on the street, over the street, red light, green light. So here the biggest problem is education, not of technology, but about this landfill of different kind of standards of regulation of how to act in the situations. So this is, I think that you should do the exam sometimes in your lifetime, if you understand that, so you can be verified. Mm-hmm. So it's very similar. You have to build the streets. You have to have oil or electricity for the car. AI, maybe it's a car. oil is powering the cars. People are driving the cars, so it's very similar in the digital world. And we have to build standards. We have to build education level for the children, for the elderly. We have to think about the planet, like we drill oil. Here we drill data, and we use a lot of electricity and so on. So very similar problems. And the first thing that we have to see, these streets from Slovenia to Poland has to be opened. So we have to have the same standards. So if you go to the street, you drive on your right, left, or whatever. You have the same signs and so on. So we have to have, these are the strategies and the rules of engagement. Not just strategy what the government will put the money in, but which laws, which competencies have to build, how do you act, how do you use the data, can you use the data from Slovenia and Poland or not, on which level, what are the rules for that and so on. So if we don't standardize this part, we cannot cooperate.
But what's preventing us from doing exactly that?
Because we don't have experience with that. This is new. For example, electricity, the world needed 20 to 30 years to accept electricity. Before, we didn't have the plugs and so on. We just connect the darts. Here's the same. So we need time. We have to build these kind of standards. And every year there's a new invention, there's a new type of usage. Everybody talk, ChatGPT is AI. Come on. This is a tool. And you use the data. So we don't understand, really we don't understand why, how, and from what. So which data you can use and in what way.
I would like to add one thing, because Igor said about the very crucial things, about these clear rules between countries in our region, how to use this data. But I'm afraid that you ask why it's so hard, so complicated. So I can tell you, because our companies are rather small, medium sometimes. These big sizes companies is really very few. And in Europe we have so many new regulations. Brussels every month really would like to speed up about numbers of regulations.
They say they're paid for that.
Maybe too much. So that's why these small companies doesn't have capacity to adopt these new regulations. So that's why our companies
need lawyers.
Need lawyers and need time for adopt new standards, new regulations. And one I think that because Igor mentioned about few questions, why, where, but I think that I would like to add one more questions, what for? So we have to educate companies, not from IT sector, how to use new technologies, new solutions which be delivered by IT companies in their businesses. So we have to educate them what is the needs of every company on the market, how to use new technology, AI technology, to improve their own businesses.
Which is, of course, a big homework for everybody.
And also we are trying, ICT Association are now the leaders to prepare some kind of act of conduct. So we did that in Slovenia. I know that you are doing the same. So we are trying to understand the technology, use the knowledge about the technology, use the regulation, and prepare some kind of advices for the companies, non-IT companies, how to use it, how to do it. Because we would like also to earn some money on the market. So if they know how to use it, they will buy it. So it's also our thing to do that. But I think we are the first. But we think that the government should do it, the non-government organizations and society and so on. So I think we are at the beginning of this long journey.
But still, my question was, what is preventing Slovenian and Polish companies, Slovenian and Polish associations, the state of Slovenia and Poland from doing more, or probably bringing a precedent in Europe and in the region, especially in this field?
Courage.
Okay.
So
I mean, you see Slovenian ski jumpers and Polish ski jumpers and flyers. I mean, they have courage.
Yeah, you know, I agree with Igor. We have to believe, as a Poland, as a Slovenia, as a whole region of sea countries, that we can be a leader in ICT sector, in new technologies. We, frankly speaking, unfortunately, these countries has a complex of small, poor country in the middle of Europe. But we have to believe that nowadays in this region we created a huge numbers of absolutely great new products, new services, and we have to explain to whole world that yes, there is a real digital heart of Europe, and we can become a digital powerhouse for Europe.
And at the same time, we have to understand the usage of mobile phone isn't a digital. It's not skilled guy for use of AI or artificial intelligence or whatever.
Yeah, but we have to explain, for example, car washing company, a small one, even smallest one in the middle of Slovenia and Poland, what for they can use new technology, etc. So, okay, we together with Igor, we will be silent.
Mr. Zorko gave up, yeah.
Perhaps a little bit to break the way. Well, I think before Slovenian and Polish collaborations, we need also to do in our own environment some work. For example,
sometimes Slovenian cooperation is a nightmare, I can say to you.
Yeah, and let's start using in the narrow team we have. It's the family, of course.
Yeah.
Sometimes is
that's the hardest thing, I would say.
But for example, the real case from the Slovenia, because we are in the Planica, our faculty for the computer science built really the system with the computer vision to do some help for the judging the style of the flying.
Here we go again with Austrian and German judges.
No. But Slovenian ski associations didn't know that.
Oh.
You know, we have the sport associations, we have the company, and we have the academic organizations, and they do not know what everybody else are doing. And this is the first way when we can start thinking. So, who is the leader of the idea? Is the academic institution or is the business? And how to collaborate? Because they have a lot of knowledge, but they do not know how to go to the market. And we have on the other side, we are at the company, we have much more knowledge how to go to the market, but perhaps we do not know what the market needs. And then we have another way, and this is the chain of the different companies, different skills we need to do together. And if we do not know how to do between our company and, for example, faculty for the computing science, how will we do with the Polish companies? And this is the same problem. So we can collaborate, but we need to be open, because there is a joke in our company that who is our biggest competitor? No, it's not his company, but we are doing everything alone. Because if we go to the company, they will do everything alone. They wanted to hire data scientists because they wanted to do alone, not with these academic organizations, not with us, but everything wants to do alone. And this is the first problem when we can be open. Because do I trust to tell him my idea? Yeah, I need. Because with just few words, he cannot do anything, but because he has some additional ideas. And to go networking with the ideas, it's making something very special. And I call that matchmaking ideas or matchmaking semi-products, because together we can do much better product at the end.
Yeah, Mr. Nowakowski.
Thank you. One thing, I completely agree with you about the network, the community, for example, networking academics and the business. It's crucial, and we are maybe not fighting, but we are trying to do something to make it real. But I would like to answer about one of the challenges for the business in the artificial intelligence. It's uncertainty, and to overcome this challenge, we need healthy and transparent legal system. Because if the companies are not sure whether they can do something or not, it's really difficult, to make a business in this area. And this in the area where data is crucial. You have to get the answer. Yes, I can do that. No, I cannot. I cannot do that. Right? No, I cannot. Yes. Sorry. So for that we need a healthy legal system, and I'm pretty sure that the artificial intelligence is not the answer. I think we need something more. We need more local regulation that will be in compliance with other local regulation as well. GDPR is a nightmare, to be honest. In this.
One of the nightmares.
One of them.
Okay, Mr. Pirc, perhaps your view on how we could I mean, we have the know-how, we have the courage, we have the knowledge, we have the grit, we have the guts, but how could we actually change on both sides this let's say approach that sometimes we don't trust each other within Slovenia and within Poland enough to let's say to open ourselves, for example, to the Polish friends?
Thank you for the question. From my point of view, the most important things are networks and networking. So everything starts with that kind of conference, like here we have today, and this, for my opinion, should be much more bigger conference now its turn, because it's the most important topic, and it's cooperation between two very interesting countries. The second thing is that we don't know the companies or good cases which Poland have, and of course the Poland companies don't know which very success companies are in Slovenia on that field, so we cannot cooperate. So the Spirit is making a right move to find some strategic way to cooperate. I think we must dedicate one guy or diplomatic economy to find some way to cooperate, to invite more Polish, I don't know how to expert to Slovenia fluently, and of course send some Slovenian guy, not just from faculty or some consultant company, but from the expert level or from the just successful company to the Poland on their conference, and then start cooperate. Of course, it's help if we have some funds on that topic. We have a lot of cooperation between nearest countries, so Italy, Austria, Croatia, and Hungary, because we have Interregs and other instruments to cooperate. We are forced to go there, they are forced to come here, but with Poland we don't have some instruments or mechanism. So this could help for the future cooperation.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, great suggestion. Before I ask if the audience if they have some questions, perhaps, because we're talking about the lack of knowing best practices from our respective countries. What would you say, Mr. Kanlik, would be, let's say, the best practices you perform in Poland, which could be of interest for us?
Yeah. I would like to, for example, copy our idea of our Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Digital Affairs, to create a special investment fund for AI projects dedicated for local companies.
Okay.
I think that it would be great if we would be able to create this kind of regional investment fund for companies across our region, that especially for a common project between few countries, for example. But yes, special dedicated investment fund for AI projects or cyber projects or digital projects in general, dedicated especially for digital. This is my first point from Polish side to copy in the whole region.
I have the name for the fund, Plajenica Fund.
Great.
Okay.
I forgot about one thing, because you mentioned that Slovenia is only one country with love in the name. And, but we have to remember that Poland is a classic example of a country open for cooperation, because Poland is Poland and someone else. So we are very open for partnership.
Great. Mr. Nowakowski, perhaps your knowledge of best practices you could share with us from Poland and your experience.
Well, actually, we are in a stage of developing our own best practices. We have a problem with that because, for example, from the global perspective, we have right now more than 200 best practices, for example, for responsible or trustworthy AI, which is quite a high number. And for companies, it is unclear which one they should use. So it could be a good idea to create some kind of a working group to sit down and to find the best way to develop best practices. Because right now in Poland, we don't have one. But this is the problem of the whole world, actually, because we have a lot of practices. For example, there is an Alan Turing Institute in the UK, and they developed one, but also we have a G7 group that also developed their own recommendations and things like that. So it could be a good way to make some kind of industry practice for that, for the whole industries, not for the one, for example, sector like the financial one.
Which is a very good idea because Slovenians love working groups, actually. So it would
and
be...
know the outcome, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. It would be a great start. Well, you, Mr. Pirc, what would you share with our Polish friends? What would you say, well, this is what we make in Slovenia in a way which could be, let's say, regarded as a best practice?
Yeah, we have really a lot of good and best practices, but from our side of point of view is one of the good practice you could already test here in Triglav stand. We are develop some kind of 3D eye avatar, so you could go there, talk fluently with some kind of person, and ask everything what you like to know about insurance or something like that. So this could be one of the connection topic, because I know there in Poland is a lot of companies who work on that field. And we could try to find some connection on that, because there is a exchange of knowledge is the most important thing. I think there is a way too less focus on that. We don't have. We could start with some kind of hackathons or something like that to establish some connection between startups. And when this startup will grow, then everything will be much more smoother to find and connect. And yeah, for that reason, I think, and also I think that ZIT have one very nice brochure. So its name it's how to start building AI in a company. So this kind of knowledge could be also very interesting to transfer from Slovenia to Poland or the same.
Before we go to Mr. Zorko, I would like just to hear Mr. Irai. What would you share with us as let's say a good Slovenian best practice? Interesting also for our Polish guys.
Yeah, sure. Perhaps one quite funny stuff, where it is at the end it was not so funny, it was very serious. But we have the national conference about the AI last year, but it was organized with which ministry of Slovenia? Can you guess? For the no, it was not the digital transformations. It was for the foreign affairs.
Okay.
What was completely surprised us, but it was at the end came out very, very positive, because what they did, I don't know why but they brings together a lot of different ministries, a lot of different companies, a lot of different faculties in our Institute of Josef Stefan. They built 3 panels at the beginning, one for the industry, one for the academic stuff, and one for the, let's say, government. And we can hear each other. And this was the first time we can hear each other. And at the end, we found out that we do not understand each other. For example, with the ZIT, we went last year to the GITEX, to the Dubai, to the very big technology exhibition. I talked with one very good professor from the AI. He didn't know that this exists. And of course, when I explained that we are not known in the Europe for the AI, they jump on me. Yeah, of course, on the academic way, Slovenia is very known, but not for the industry. So we have this way. Each ministry doesn't want. It is not important. If somebody takes some way to do something, let's jump in and brings together all those 3 branches of our work in Slovenia, or our life in Slovenia.
Okay, before we go to Mr. Zorko,
maybe just one suggestion, because it's when we are searching in Google, most of the results are from forgotten countries, from Germany, Austria, or Great Britain, or United States. So there is a lot of opportunity to have some news about Poland's company and Poland's results and researchers. If we are saying trying to make some announcement in media, some news. Their Spirit could be also very helpful with that, that some Slovenian news are published in Poland media and the same with Polish results in Slovenian media. So this could be one. And you are, Igor, you are the one who work on the national TV. And
don't blame me for everything, please. Mr. Zorko, best practices we can share, we can offer.
I think that Slovenia has the biggest AI open community in Europe. So we have for about, I think, 30 years institutes for AI. We have one of the first university for AI and also professors who did that. And we are our community is working on Stanford on, I think, 5 or 10 different kind of institutions worldwide who are contributing. We have the relatively known path of somebody who starts studying informatics, then go to podiplomski študij, PhD, then master, and then to institute, and then Stanford, and so on. So we have a really clear path how to build our experts and also how to share it. We combine about 100 to 200 experts, managers, IT experts who work together, for example, this brochure on different kind of trips to other countries from China to US and so on. And I think this inclusive AI community is very active. Nobody gets paid for nothing. Mm-hmm. We don't have funds. We don't have nothing. We have
not yet.
I think it's not good. Like it's not good to be paid for this kind of effort. It's relatively similar to the firefighters. So if you pay them, it would be much different. But I think this kind of community is one of very rare in the world that we have. And it's taking young. We have 3 Syrians now here. We have a lot of people from different countries, from Middle East and so on. They're coming here. They're learning, then they go through and somewhere else. But they remember the stuff they learn here. They remember Slovenia. They remember the Europe, and I think we have to embrace that, and we have to, support this kind of activities also in Poland, in Slovenia, and I think this is very good practice.
Great. Do we have any questions from the audience before? Yeah, Mr. Vendrovsky, I'll give you the mic.
So I'm really curious what the panelists would say about the infrastructure that is required to run AI models, because we can talk a lot about great scientists, engineers, business models, open communities, and so on, but those AI models have to run somewhere. So are they going to run on US infrastructure or not?
Do you have the money?
Thank you. Any other comments? No.
Yeah, perhaps I can comment
a
bit. It's not just the infrastructure, it's important is engineering work on that stuff. So we are talking about the science, about the AI, but of course infrastructure and also engineering to put everything together, it's also important. And perhaps the way of our company, how we develop. The company started 40 years ago and it was the software developing team. And now we are really moving to the software data and AI engineering with business knowledge. So we have still the majority of the engineers, but with the knowledge of these new skills needed to build all those things, because we have the pyramid and we have in the bottom level we have the infrastructure, because we need to run, we need to store the data, we need to transfer the data, and then at the up is also the science, and everything in the between needs to be built. And this is also the way how the company can transform in the future, near future, to support all those demands which will surely come to the market.
Maybe just if you have the money, but the whole Europe have to invest to build infrastructure for our AI. So Poland, C region is too small. So if you look how much money the big companies worldwide, China is investing in the infrastructure for AI, I think if we don't step together and build this kind of infrastructure, all the countries of EU together, we won't have the capabilities to run our models, our solutions, our algorithms.
Okay, Dr. Novakovsky just wanted to add something.
I think that we have three options. To be fully resilient, which is the local infrastructure in each country, for example, and for the European Union. Let's say another one, which is the software as a service, as a role model, which means that we have to outsource the power, for example. And the third one is the hybrid model. So we are creating a local infrastructure at some point, maybe not the biggest one, but the one that gives us some level of resilience. And also we are using what is already developed, for example, in the United States, right?
One more comment from my side. I'm in favor of this hybrid model, because if we together as a region will be able to build some infrastructure, of course it could be based, and of course we have to support by other. But please remember that we have worst examples of infrastructure than US. So I hope if we will use as a hybrid model US infrastructure, that's fine. I'm afraid that some countries in Europe would like to use another infrastructure, not exactly the friendly US.
Okay. Any other questions from the audience? If not, then we go to our final round, and let's start with you, Mr. Zorko. So, what is your vision on Polish-Slovenian cooperation? You said before the beginning of the conference that we actually have a lot to learn from our Polish friends. But how do you see, let's say, the future of common endeavors, which actually are about to start here?
I think the first thing is we have to learn how to cooperate in the region. So Poland is the biggest, or Romania and Poland, it depends what you look. We are one of the
Poland
smallest.
is bigger. We have to say this here.
It depends. Okay. But we are one of the smallest. So if we learn how to cooperate, we can also copy that from Poland side and Slovenia side to other countries in the region, and we have to be a strong region. And this is for the people, for the companies, for the society, also regulators. So this part. But at the same time, I think it's very important to build partnerships, to create together new solutions, with which we can go to the European and global market, not to sell our man-hours and our knowledge. So build our solution ourselves, sell the solutions, not sell our man-hours. So this, I think, is the biggest transformation that we have to learn, and I think together we have the same problems, so we have to learn that together and maybe be more aggressive and more resilient in the global market.
So we say, of course, Poland is the biggest part of the chain, Slovenia is the smallest one, but the chain is as strong as the smallest part of the chain is. So, yeah, we go to Mr. Jeraj for his final words.
Yeah, I think these associations like Poland Digital and Slovenian ZIT is the good way to start collaborating, because the companies are all the time focusing on the market. We need to get the money to pay ourselves and the employees. That's true. And never is time to really take the time to come here or to discuss. And it's never enough time. So if you have like these associations to force a little bit us, it's very good. So thank you for both and the great work we are doing in Slovenia. I don't know, I guess in Poland is the similar. I don't know how it's in Poland, because it's a very bigger company. In Slovenia, we know each other, which is sometimes benefits.
No, sometimes it's terrible. Yeah.
Sometimes, always is good. Let's be positive today. And make those way much more regular. So I think in the ZIT there are now 9 people employed and working on the projects, and force us to collaborate somehow. And it's the best way to go then to the companies level, because company B2B is very hard to start. But if you have some topics like today, when they can hear me and then they can grab me in the lunchtime or after the lunch, it's a good way to start discussions. And every sharing information is good.
Great, because after lunch there is B2B time.
Exactly.
So just use it. Now to you, Mr. Pirc.
Yeah, from my side of view is that we should start thinking big, because we are all small and all poor.
No, we are not all small. Poland is big.
Poland is big, but they think they are...
Look at Mr. Zorko, he's big.
So yeah, but okay, still, we should start think big because if we are not moving on the global market, we will have a lack of the and a big problem to be a competitors. And another way, I think we should start thinking how to make forward on the every level from the government to the ecosystem and of course between the companies. And we will see next year when we will have another some kind of conferences.
Probably in Zakopane.
Probably, yeah. It could be a good opportunity, good idea. Yeah. Okay. So. I hope that we will be invited.
Although some would prefer Krakow, of course. Dr. Novakovsky.
Yes, I would like to recall what actually President of Slovenia said about the multidisciplinary teams and one language. So if you are doing all of the stuff you are saying here, we always have to bear in mind that having people with different views, with different competences, with different experiences, is absolutely fundamental. That's all.
Okay, so let's match. And the last word goes to Mr. Kanovnik.
Few keywords I mentioned before about education, investments, and smart regulation. Of course, it's very important. But I think that after our discussion, the crucial word is cooperation. Yep. Cooperation, partnership, and in different level between states, Poland, Slovenia, and whole region, between businesses across the region, between single company, between people, and between business and science across the region. So cooperation, coordination is absolutely crucial. And last but not least, please, I have a request. Please don't tell me that we are too poor, too small, too weak. No, together we are strong enough to create a real great products, services based on AI or different other technology. Be brave. Rest will be fine.
Okay.
Can I have some? Just
you would desperately like to have the last word. Okay.
No. We have a lot of meetings. We have a lot of events. One which is coming in 3Cs initiative in Vilnius, yes, and also we have C Digital Coalition Summit. So I would invite the Slovenian companies and also all the others from Poland maybe to meet there, to open our eyes to see what some other stakeholders are doing, and maybe this is the first step.
Yeah, absolutely. Support Igor. Come to Vilnius, come to Warsaw on October for our C Digital Summit, discuss and maybe not discuss, let's do business, create a common projects. I'm sure that after every this kind of meeting, we'll be able to say that we have some business success.
Great. Vilnius is not in Poland, but it has, of course, a Polish name, Wilno, I think. Yeah. It's a I know that it used to be Poland, but we won't go into that because history is really sometimes an obstacle. So thank you very much for sharing your views and a great panel, and let's do business, hopefully, and be, as you said, be brave. So thank you very much. An applause for the panel. We are almost, but the stress is on almost, ready for lunch. But before that, we will still feed you with some interesting presentations. First of all, we'll have the presentations of the Polish delegation, and later on we'll have the presentation of Slovenian businesses, which will be taken over by Mrs. Andrea Mulec-Buchins from Spirit Slovenia. So let's concentrate on the presentation of the Polish delegation, and later on the presentation of businesses, and then around 2 o'clock you will have lunch, and after that you will have time for B2B part of our gathering. So now the Polish friends will take over. Companies from Poland, it's already everything set, so let's do it.